Hi, this is Johannes, and today we're gonna talk about something I hope will be a lot help of you, and that is how you combine patterns, right? Because now you have 100 arpeggios to practice, and you will learn tools so you can transform them to so many more. And how in the world do you know which one to choose in your compositions, in your arrangements? Like, how do you know if you should choose level 2 or level 4 or level 35, right? And I really understand that, and I ask myself the same question every morning, right? But there's one thing I've learned to do that have been very helpful for me, and that is that instead of thinking as an arpeggio as a specific motion, you kinda want to group it into a certain type of arpeggio, and try to understand what role that type has. So starting out, I would recommend to think in 4 different categories, and that the first one is arpeggios that play for a little bit, kinda calmly, and then breathes. So there's a lot of air into the playing. I just want to say that I can't pronounce the word breathe, so it's not like they are multiplying, it's like it's resting, right? So when the the arpeggio is resting, that's when these occur. You see, it's a break. It's breathing. And it's a very specific feel, even if I play a different pattern, right? It feels the same, but I changed the patterns a lot. The second one would be when you have a few notes that repeat and kind of loop, like the loop pattern, right? So something like this. Or maybe... Do you notice how these patterns also feel the same, right? And that's because you have a few notes that loop over and over and over again. And the third one is the downwards motions. Whoops. And yeah, there are a few variations here as well. But they still kind of feel the same, and as you soon will see, they have the same purpose. Finally, last but not least, we have the big motions, you know. Or something like... Right? And it's just motions that have a bit bigger playing to them. It can be longer distances or a few more notes compared to the previous one. And all of these are in context, of course, so this one can feel big by doing something like this. Right? Because if I play a smaller pattern before, it will feel very big. You know, in context, that kind of feel equally big to... if I would have played something kind of similar before that, right? So all of these are in context. Now, when should you use these different types of pattern? The first one, of course, there are no right and wrongs, but as you know, a thumb of rule, you can think that the first one works really great to let the track and the arrangement breathe a little bit, or you let it rest for a little bit, right? and this can be at the intro to build tension and excitement. right? But it can also be after a very big climax. Right? And you notice how this feels. It really adds a lot, right? So intros, you can have it in verses, so before you have the big part of your arrangement, or after it, right? Now this one, I think, is very good for creating very rhythmic drive. If you listen to a lot of popular music today, you might notice that you will have a song, and the first verse will be pretty calm, but as soon as the second verse starts, you know, there will be this more rhythmic groove where all the drums play in the background. And I would kind of think this is the same. This creates a lot of rhythmic drive and forward momentum. So we might have a track that can sound... I'm not sure this will work, but we can try something like this. You know. This, I think, works very great when you repeat something. So if I would have been playing this melody before, I've done some solos, and then, you know, it can work very great to keep this forward momentum in the track. So repeating stuff or going to a new section, for example a bridge or a B theme, can work really great as well, you know. But again, all is in context, and I would play something different before. But it can create a really cool jumping to new sections or repetitions. This one is amazing to add in any of these patterns, especially the fourth one, right? And you see this in my Victor arrangement. I do pattern 4. And basically what this does, right, it adds tension. It's kind of like you're holding your breath, and you get this really, really big impact. And this can be amazing in any scenarios. Like, it can work here, right? I played in the wrong key, let's try it one more time. Do you see how much tension is you know, coming forward once I play from top to bottom, right? And I think it's amazing, and it's the most amazing when you do it on the 4-1, right? If you have this big pattern. You can do it just before the final build start. You can do it, you know, once you play the last chord in a progression. Usually works very great. Such a nice way of building. And finally, we have the fourth one, which I truly think does wonders in, you know, usually the chorus, so the main theme in the track, depending on the emotions you want to get. Sometimes you want the chorus to be very calm. Then, you know, 1 might work great, but anywhere you want a lot of power and a lot of big movement, right? This is really cool. But if you only use this one, it won't feel so big once you get to the theme, right? However, if you start with 1, and then you would play the 3 going down to this very big pattern, then you maybe do this one the second time, So instead of doing the one in the theme you played before, you do the second, more quick variation, right? Going back to the big motion, and finally going to this calm again. You know, it's pretty cool what that can lead to, and how fresh and different this can feel. But it all depends on what you want to make out of the arrangement. This is just a pretty good rule of thumb, right? And I can show you. So let's say I play something like I had a stream a couple of days ago where I did this song I really like. Right? So what happens if we start doing one here? We do 3 to build, go to 4, three, and then 2. Three, and then 4. That was a bit too much, but that was a 3. And then we can do like this build and then go straight to 1, right? And it's all about how these 4 feels when you want to use them, and kind of start to recognize what it gives out. So explaining in better words, these 4 I think have different feels, and when you do your arrangement you kind of want to figure out what feel do I want to have in this section, and which one of these 4 can best result in that feeling. And you always have to think backwards as well. So I want this section to be very, very big. I want it to be epic. Then I might need to tone it down a bit before, so that this gets big in context. And with that said, I hope just this thinking can be very helpful for you. And of course you can do your own 4 or 5 or 10, but just try to categorize different arpeggios, try to figure out what they bring to the arrangement, and then see how you can combine the different ones. I'm not saying, you know, more is better, but sometimes it's nice to know the options you have. And, you know, not always playing 4 or not always playing 2 can have a benefit depending on the arrangement you create. But it's really good to know that you have the option. Alright, now I will stop rambling about dividing arpeggios in different sections and just let you do what you do best. And that is to experiment, practice and learn. Have a lot of fun with this one, and I will see you soon. Take care and stay very awesome.